Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. So in today's video, we are going to continue with the Indian Anthropology series. And in the last class of Indian Anthropology, we have discussed about two concepts, that is the Varnashram system and also the concept of Purusarth. So similarly, in this video, we will continue and we are going to discuss in more details about the characteristics of Indian society. So to give you a brief idea, if we try to understand the overall basis of Indian society or the structure of Indian society, it is basically revolving around three corners of a triangle, and these are, first of all, obviously we know that large part of Indian society is living in the villages. Almost 70% of India is still living in village, so village community very important. Second is what we can call as the jati system, and third is what we can call as the joint family. So these are the three bases of the Indian society. In joint family, we have discussed like how can we classify any family as joint family. So simply, as per the Professor Irabati Karve, a very well-known Indian anthropologist and sociologist, she has said that for any family in India to be characterized as joint family, there should be four major characteristics. That is, these are common residence, common kitchen, then we have common place of worship, and then the fourth is the pooled economic resources. That means there is no concept of individual private money, individual private wealth. Whatever resources a family has, all are pooled together, and as per the needs of the family members, it is then distributed accordingly. So that is in brief is joint family. Now if we talk about today's our main topic of discussion will be the jati system. Also it is referred as the caste system. So we'll try to understand about this in more detail. So if you talk about the caste system or jati system, in India, it can be studied under two different heads. First is what we can call as Varna system, and second is what we can call as the jati system. So what are the major differences between the Varna system on the one hand and jati system on the other hand? So basically, if we talk about Varna system, it is the oldest method of classification. On the other hand, jati system is relatively latest or more recent. More recent in nature. Second, if we talk about Varna system, it is considered as a kind of referral scheme. Referral scheme means that it does not give you a concrete idea about the identity of any particular person, but in such a huge society with such a huge population in India, it basically helps in understanding that which particular section of society one belongs to on a larger scale. On the other hand, if we talk about jati system, it is much more empirical in nature and it is much more accurate in identifying an individual with one's own caste, with one's own group. Third, if we talk about, only four varnas are there that are mentioned as per ancient Indian literature. Those are Brahman, then we have Kshatriya, then we have Vaishya, and then we have Shudras. On the other hand, as per the recent study conducted by the Anthropological Survey of India, in the alphabetical order, it has recognized almost 4,500 jatis across India. So as you can see, a very huge difference. Entire Indian society can be divided into four varnas, but into 4,500 jatis. Then the most important difference that you will see between the Varna system and Jati system, that as per Varna system, inter-Varna mobility was possible. What does it mean? It means that no matter which Varna you belong to, you can change your Varna by your actions. And we have a lot of examples in the ancient stories, mythological stories, as well as epics of India as well. For example, if you take Ramayana, in Ramayana we have Raja Janak. So Raja Janak was born as a Kshatriya, member of Kshatriya Varna, but due to his knowledge, understanding, he was given a status of Brahman. Similarly, we talk about Guru Dronacharya in Mahabharata. So he was born in a Brahman Varna, but due to his command on the archery skills and overall, we can say the warfare skill, he was given the status of Kshatriya. Similarly, we talk about again in the story of Lord Krishna, where we have the Nand is there. So Nanda was born in a Shudra class, Sudra Varna, but he was given the status of Kshatriya. So this is the changes that were possible. And actually, if you read Bhagavad Gita, there it has been clearly mentioned that everyone is born as a Shudra. It is only after he start to participate and take actions as a part of society, as a member of society, and as a member of Aryan community, he then actually is assigned a particular Varna as per his skills and actions. So that is why intervarna mobility was very, very possible and very fluid in nature. On the other hand, if you talk about caste system or basically jati system, it is what we can call as ascribed status. There is no any possibility of inter-jati mobility. That means if you are born in a particular jati, no matter how good your actions are, no matter how brilliant you are, no matter how much command you have on any subject or Vedas or whatever, you cannot change your jati from whatever you born to. So it is basically depending on your birth. It is not something that you can achieve. Jati state is not something that you can achieve by your actions. It is assigned to you by your birth, and that is why we're calling it as ascribed status without any possibility of interjati mobility. So this is how we can understand the major differences between the Varna system and the Jati system, both which can be grouped under the caste system of India. So let us try to discuss in more detail about the Varna system and origin of the Varna system. So basically, three major theories have been given, which tells us that how Varna system came into origin. The first theory is something which we can call as divine theory, and many times it is also referred as a mythological theory. So divine theory or mythological theory. The second theory which explains the origin of Varna system is what we can call as the racial theory. And the third theory is what we can call as the Guna theory, or also it is referred as sociological theory. So we have a divine theory, mythological theory, then we have the racial theory, and then we have the Guna theory or sociological theory. So what is divine or mythological theory? So this is something that has been referred in the Purush Shukta, which is a part of one of the Vedas, that is the Rig Veda. So as per the Purush Shukta of Rig Veda, the Varna has come into existence because all the four different Varnas have originated or have born from different part of the Brahma. We have discussed about Brahma, that is the eternal reality, universal reality. So as per this theory, if we talk about Brahma, so from Brahma what happened? The head part of Brahma, from the head part of Brahma, there is an origin of Brahman. And since it is basically what we can understand, that especially divine and mythological theory is more symbolic in nature of the Varna system. So since the Brahmins have originated from the head region of the Brahma, so that is why they are associated with knowledge, understanding, reading, and have less what we can say role to play in terms of warfare, fight, or any other kind of what we can say is devil-like qualities that has been given as per the tamas gun. We'll discuss about that later. Second, if we talk about the Kshatriya, so Kshatriya have originated from the arms or arm region of the Brahma. And arm is symbol of what? It is a symbol of strength, it is a symbol of courage, it is a symbol of power, it is a symbol of warfare, fighting. That is why Kshatriya Varna is associated with a ruling class, a Varna that belongs to ruling class, because they are the one who is very, very valiant in nature. So that is the second part. Then gradually, if we talk about the Vaishyas. So Vaishya have originated from the stomach part of the Brahma. Stomach region, we have the origin of the Vaishya word. And that is why they are associated with mundane activities. And fourth is the feet. So from feet of Varna, feet of Brahma, we have origin of the Shudra word, and that is why they are considered as the bottommost part of the pyramid. We talk about the Varna structure pyramid, and as feet bears the burden of the entire body. Similarly, the Sudra caste or Sudra Varna, we can say, also in the society were given the responsibility of bearing the entire burden of the society and doing the menial kind of job, as we can say. So this is one of the theory that is called as the mythological or divine theory. On the other hand, during the time of British, when they become very interested to understand about the Indian society and its classification, there is a very well-known sociologist by the name of Risley. So Risley gave the theory that we call as racial theory. And as per Risley, he said that if you look at the entire world, we have three major races are there. What are these three races? So obviously we have Caucasoid race, then we have the Mongoloid race, and then we have the Negroid race. The issue is that in case of India, because the soils of India are very acidic in nature, there is no remains or no fossil remains of the older age people, or what we can say that our ancestors, and that is why I cannot say with 100% surety that which of these races were dominant in India in the older times. However, as per Risley, he believes that one major classification how we can classify the races is the color of the skin color. So skin color is a fair method of classifying the races, and thus he says that in India basically we talk about two types of color of this skin we can recognize. One is what you can call, or what he called as the fair color, and other he called as a darker color. And what theory he gave? He said that in the older time, Aryans were the one who are fair colored or fair skin in nature, while the Indian indigenous tribes were dark skin color. And thus, when the Aryan, one theory is that Aryans have invaded into India. So when the Aryans invaded India, they became victorious. They conquered over these Indian Aborigines, and that is why gradually what happens, their population increased, and thus in India, the people who are fair skin are what who belong to the Aryan categories, and the people who are having a dark skin belong to the Indian Aboriginal tribal categories. So that is one classification. However, this theory was discarded and faced a lot of criticism because due to lack of fossil evidences, we did not have any concrete what you can say evidence to support the Risley's theory. The third theory, that is called as guna theory or sociological theory. This is very important one, and as of now this is also most widely accepted theory about the classification of the Varna system. The guna or sociological theory states that in all the individuals we have three different kind of qualities. Guna basically refers to the qualities. And what are these qualities? The first qualities is what is called as Rajasic qualities. That is because of the predominance of Rajas, or also written as Rajogun. We have Rajogun. Similarly, one other quality is what we can call as Sattvic, or also referred as Satogun. And third is Tamasic quality. That is the dominance of the quality of tamas, that is related to darkness. So all the individuals have three qualities: Rajasic, Sattvic, Tamasic, but in different proportion. And thus this theory states that those people who have highest amount of Rajas quality, Rajogun in their personality, these Rajogun is related with valiance, related with bravery, related with the capability to rule over the people, the capability to protect the citizens, protector we can say. So protection, capability to protect, willingness to protect, valiance, strength, courage, bravery, capability to rule over a large section of society, this is related to Rajas gun. And obviously the people who have a dominance of Rajas gun are the one who belong to the Kshatriya Varna. because that is the duty and role of Kshatriya Varna in the Indian society. They were the one who were the kings largely, and it is a rule and duty. It is basically the role and the duty of the king to protect its citizen, to protect its kingdom, and to take care of its subject. On the other hand, if a person has highest or dominance of the sattvic gun or satogun, in that case, the person has which kind of qualities? So, satogun is related to qualities such as piety, sacrifice, more and more attention toward attaining and acquiring knowledge and wisdom, and also less focus and less attention on acquisition of wealth. So they are living a very, what we can say, selfless kind of life, a sacrificial kind of life, and focus more on knowledge and acquisition of knowledge and wisdom, and then propagate this knowledge and wisdom to the upcoming generation and younger generation of society. So obviously the people who have dominance of these gunas are what we can call as the part of Brahmana world. And third is what we can call as the tamasic gun, or we have tamas gun. Now tamas gun is related to which kind of qualities? So tamas gun is related to qualities such as more and more focus on attaining physical pleasure, attaining sensual pleasure, living a life in a way where one want to have a lot of different kind of items, focus more on eating as much as possible, and thus when person is largely focusing on the self satisfaction of the senses, either via food, either via sensual pleasure, either via physical pleasure, either via having aesthetic pleasures. So all these basically represents the presence of the or dominance of the tamas gun, and the people who are having a high amount of tamas gun were classified into the Vaishya category. And finally, if people have no other gun but only tamas gun, then those were classified as Shudra. So I hope you understand the difference between Vaishya and Shudra. In Vaishya, we have the dominance of tamas gun, but these guns are also present in a small amount. However, in the Shudra, it is said that they have the they have only one gun, and that is the tamas gun. So that is the way how we have divided society. So that's all about the three different theories about the Varna system. That is the divine theory or mythological theory. Then we have the racial theory, and then we have the guna theory or sociological theory. Now, what about Jati? Jati system. So, Jati system has been described again by a very noted anthropologist, that is F.G. Bailey. And F.G. Bailey has said that Jati system has three distinct characteristics. And what are these three distinct characteristics? First, he says that Jati system is closed. Second, he says Jati system is organic. And third, he says that Jati system is stratified. So let us try to understand each of these one by one. Now, when he referred Jati system as a closed system, this is nothing but, again, we have discussed slide before, that inter-Jati mobility is not possible in the system. That means this is something which is a ascribed status. No matter what kind of actions you take in your life, no matter how much achievement you have in your life, you cannot change your Jati. It is given to you just on the basis of your birth in a particular Jati. So that means the membership of Jati is closed, like no one can enter or no one can exit the entire caste system, Jati system. Second is organic. Organic basically means that Jatis, different Jatis are interdependent on each other for various work or various purposes. For example, in the village community of India, village system of India, the best example of organic nature of Jati you can see in the establishment of Jajmani system. Jajmani system is best example of the organic nature of Jati. What is Jajmani system? So basically, in a particular village, you have people who are referred as Jajman. Jajman is what we can call as the client. Client means someone who is willing to pay some money for certain sort of work. And this judgment is largely belong to higher caste. For example, in a village where we have Brahmins, largely the judgments are Brahman. In a village where we have Rajputs, Rajputs are largely the judgment. In a village where we have Thakurs, Thakurs are the judgment. And then judgment is having an interdependent relationship with all other caste group that might be present in the village. For example, there may be potter caste, that is Kumhar as we call it. So what is the role of Kumhar caste? They make pots for the essential uses in the home. So Jajman then takes up the pot from the Kumhar and in return provide Kumhar with money, or in the older time provide with the grains, food resources. Secondly, we can have blacksmith, that is Lohar caste. So Lohar is responsible for providing the iron implements or iron tools for the agricultural purposes, for example, to Jajman. And Jajman in return again will provide blacksmith with what? Food resources, money, clothes sometime. Similarly, we have Kahar caste, for example. So Kahars were responsible for bringing water in the older time because you do not have hand pump, you do not have boring and all that, right? So there was a common source of water in the village such as lakes, ponds or wells, and thus the Kahars used to bring water to the Jajman, homes of Jajman, and then again get something in return. So that is one example. Then apart from that, also we have caste that we can call as Chamar. So Chamar caste traditionally were involved with the making of leather related items, so making of shoes, belts and all these things. That is also how Jajmans are related to the Chamar caste. And in those villages where you have also what we can call as the barber caste, that is Nai as it is called. So they are obviously related with taking care of the hair, cutting hair, beard cutting and all that, and similarly get something returned by Jajman. So basically Jajman is the central part of the entire village society, and you can see all these castes. Basically Jajman is related with all these castes and they are all interdependent, dependent on the Jajman. So that is how we can explain Indian society to be organic in nature. In the absence of any of these what I can say component, what will happen? The village society will not be able to function properly. There will be deficiencies in the overall demand and supply of the different kind of services, goods as well as labor. The third point which he mentioned is the Indian society or Jati system is stratified in nature. What do we mean by stratified in nature? Stratified means it is structured in a what we can say a layered manner. That means if we try to draw it like the classification of the Indian society. So at the top we have the Brahmins. Then at the second stage, second level, we have the Kshatriya. Then third stage we have the Vaishyas. And fourth stage, last stage, we have the Shudra. So basically Brahmins are having the highest importance or having the highest level in the pyramid of the Varna system, then Kshatriya, then Vaishya and Shudra. Now these three, these two, where Brahman and Kshatriya we can say, they are also considered as a Dvija caste. That means twice born, because Brahman, Kshatriya and later on in the Indian society were also someone who started to have the Upanayan Sanskar, that is called as the sacred thread ceremony we have discussed in last class. That is why all the Varna who are permitted to have a sacred thread were considered as the Dvija caste, having relatively higher social status. On the other hand, Sudra was something that is called as non-Dvija caste, because they are not allowed to engage themselves or carry or wear a sacred thread or undergo the Upanayan Sanskar. So we can say Sudra was given the traditionally the bottom part of the pyramid and the bottom part of the section of the society. So how these changes happened from this 4 Varna system to the 4500 Jati system, we still have no clear idea about, we not have clear understanding about, but it is believed by many scholars that up to Gupta period, it was the Varna system that was dominant. Society used to work as per Varna system, but somewhere in the Gupta period, what happened? The Varna system gradually started to lose its importance, and then we have the emergence of Jatis or Jati system. And one of the major disadvantage of change from the Varna system to Jati system is obviously the practice of untouchability, which became very common in India, and there was a lot of discriminatory practices that the Sudra class or Sudra Varna has to, the Jati belonging to Sudra Varna has to undergo through even till very recent period of time, at least till independence, when a government of India after independence brought the provisions against practice of the untouchability. And also it is believed that during the Varna classification system, when it was in practice, the women has much higher social status, while in the Jati system, women got much more lower status. So the Sudra Varna and the women have to suffer more, a lot, when the transformation happened from the Varna system to the Jati system. So this is some basic points we have to understand about the one of the major cornerstone of the Indian social system, that is the Jati system and the Varna system. So I hope you understood about the basic concepts. That is all for this video. Thank you very much.